Listen, sis, I know you're making all the money out here and you are finding yourself dating men who may be making less than you. And I often have clients who say to me, he's a great man and I really like him, but he makes less than me. Should I date him? So, would you date a man who makes less than you? Should you date a man who makes less than you? And the answer is yes, if you understand the trade-off, because there is going to be a trade-off, right? When you are looking for the love of your life and you are positioning for your partner, you get to ask life for all the things that you want. But there are often going to be some levels of trade-off when it comes to the real person and the real relationship experience. And so if this is a man who you believe is a good partner to you and for you, but money is part of the issue, what I want you to know is that money is not the only sort of provision, right? Money is not the only measure of provision or the only way that he is going to provide, because he may make less than you, but he may actually give you his all. Where you could be with a man who makes way more than you, but he only gives you 10% of his time, 10% of his love, 10% of his energy, right? While you're with a man who doesn't absolutely measure up when it comes to the finances, but who is ambitious and motivated and works and does contribute financially, and he gives you his time, and he gives you his energy, and he gives you his support, and he gives you his love. In that case, the money doesn't even matter anymore, right? So it's important for you to recognize that and to decide if the trade-off is worth it for you or not, because it's always your choice. So if he's generous, protective, emotionally available, and he spends his money on you as well, all of that is a part of the provision that he's giving. You just cannot expect champagne on a bare budget. You just can't expect him to ball out on your budget when he's only operating with his, okay? I simply want you to know that you have options, and I want you to think about provision in a broader scope so that we are not just looking at finances as the only measure of if a man is a provider and if you should give him a chance. So the answer to whether or not you should date a man who makes less than you is if you can respect his idea of provision and you're not going to punish him for being in the tax bracket that he's in, then sure. But if you can't do that and you cannot accept that, then it should be an absolute no, because no man deserves to be punished for being a good man simply because he doesn't make the money that you want him to make. You have the right to request all of the things that you want in your relationships, and if someone doesn't fit, simply say no and honor who they are without trying to make them someone else.